Hello, everybody. I am Jmulls of Jmulls Gaming, and Persona 3 Reload episode Aigis is almost upon us. And yeah, I still haven't beaten Reload yet, but I'm getting dang close, and I have played Portable before, so I know roughly what's going to happen. At least when it comes to episode Aigis, and I know the story of P3. But we have the opening movie, and I've heard that it's quite good and juicy, so I say, let's dive right on into this without further ado and talk about some Persona 3 goodness, shall we? Now let's see what this is all about. Okay, we got the butterfly as a standard. Sup, Makoto? Walking into a door, no surprise. The song, wait a minute. Pause. I need this song badly. Desperately. Also, hello, Aigis. Oh, this is gonna be depressing, and I wouldn't have it any other way for Persona 3. Don't show me Sadako Amaru. Hey, at least we're gonna meet Metis here. We got a key, okay. Hello, Aigis. Desperately trying to find Makoto. The contrast here is so good. Him belly up, her diving down to try and find him. Red versus blue. Him just dissolving away. Suddenly, the answer to all your problems, a gun. The smile on his face at the end. This room looks awesome, hello? Nice key, by the way. Makoto, POV. Everyone geared to the nines. Now Aigis is glowing in Makoto's colors. I see what you did there, Atlas. Clever. Also, she has the wild card. Okay, number one, I need this song yesterday. I don't even know if this song's gonna make it to the video because it might be copyright. And if this is just like deaf to you all, you understand why. Yeah, episode Aigis is going to be controversial, especially if you don't know what's going to happen. The answer from the original Persona 3 Fez is one of the more controversial elements of Persona. There's a lot of people that do love it. There's a lot of people that aren't big fans of it. I'm kind of in the middle, trending towards I'm not too big of a fan of it, but I can understand why it works for a lot of people because story-wise, it makes sense in a lot of ways. There's a lot they can do with this. I think episode Aigis is going to hit way harder for me this go around than when I used to watch just the cutscenes of the answer back in the day, because I think Reload did a lot, and that's one of my biggest takeaways from playing Reload again, or just getting back into it, and getting into the final sections of Reload. They do such a good job with character development, but also these interactions that I felt were lacking from P3 for the longest time, but they added so many little scenes in Reload that don't do too much by themselves, but when you add them all together, they really flesh the cast out, add on to those interactions, give you more scenes with the characters, and when you already have great characters with great stories and great development, that's all you really need, and it's what I needed personally out of P3, and I got that from Reload, and from what we have seen from episode Aigis, it seems like they're going to keep doing what they did in Reload, which is essentially do what came before, but add on a bit to that. I'm not expecting episode Aigis to really deviate from anything established in the answer. I'm not expecting that. What I think it's going to be is more of that fun gameplay loop that I love out of Reload. It's going to be another dungeon to crawl, and we'll have more scenes with the cast. I'll be really interested to see what they do with these new scenes, because the dynamics between the party are put like on their head and put to the ultimate test within the answer, so I really want to see if they can like flesh that out and really build upon it. There has been that conspiracy theory going around the community for the longest time that I do kind of subscribe to, that they plan to do something with P3 in the future that's not just Reload. They want to continue the story to some way, to some degree. I am kind of that opinion because it really does feel feel as if they want you to know P3. They're bringing back that old Aigis, like, mobile game. I think it was, like, on the DS or something. I'm not even sure. Like, I barely even heard of it before it was announced it was coming back. And it could absolutely just be Atlus wanting money because they are prone to do that. And it could absolutely be a case like that. But I'm just saying, in retrospect, if we're assuming we're in the future and they do something with P3, like they do a Persona 3 Strikers, or Persona 6 is that follow-up to Persona 3 that some people have been theorizing, with the whole 3 days after with Makoto and being 3 games afterwards. There's some loose parallels you can draw there. One of the big personas that Makoto can get being Messiah as well. You have the whole Elizabeth story from P4 but P4 Arena. If they do end up doing something, it's one of those situations where we can look back at all these little scattered fragments and all this care and love and attention they've put into P3 recently and go, ah, yes, it's because they want us to know all of this, because they want to do this other big thing. If they ultimately don't end up doing anything with it, no skin off my back, really, but I think it'd be pretty cool to see how they could try and twist that, or how they can try and make that landing, because the more I've been playing Persona 3 Reload, the higher my opinion of P3 on the whole has been becoming. It used to be my least favorite of the big 3 Persona games that I've played, 3, 4, and 5, and while I can't say that I'm a fan of Tartarus itself, I love the combat in Reload, and I've been loving the characters more and more and more in Reload the more I play of it. I played Portable. That was my first real foray into P3. And I'll talk about this more when I actually beat P3 Reload and do my proper review of that and all that, but I think my opinion of the story of P3 got compromised because of Portable's direction choice to go with a visual novel style. Seeing all these cutscenes with all the context surrounding it and the pacing of the game, with all these new additional scenes, makes every story beat hit way harder for me. And I think what I want out of episode Aigis is very minimal. I just want more P3 Reload, and I think that's what episode Aigis is largely going to provide. It'll give us a new dungeon to grind, it'll give us Metis. From the looks of it, we'll get some new Link episodes as well, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping it's not all just doom and gloom, though because of the story, I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but from what I remember and recall from a couple of the trailers, it's not. Aigis is one of my favorite characters in all of Persona, and funnily enough, also is Elizabeth. Like, for me, my top 2 Persona characters are probably Elizabeth and Aigis, and the ranking for those two just changes based on the day for me. If you're wondering who number 3 is, it's probably Kanji from P4, because that dude's a barrel of laughs. Good rule of thumb for me, if you want me to like a character, have them make me laugh. If they can do that, Elizabeth and Aigis do that in spades, but also have amazing stories on top of that, you're pretty much a shoo-in for one of my favorite characters. There's a lot that can be talked about when it comes to the answer, and I think a lot of the subtleties of P3's story that kind of eluded me when I played Portable, I'm coming to realize with Reload, and I find it absolutely brilliant how in P3 Reload, spoilers by the way, but this is episode Aigis, for the base game, right, you have Makoto, and the entire premise of the game is we know we're going to die at the end of the game, as the player. And with a Persona game, yeah, Makoto Yuki, Yuna Rukami, Joker, they are established in-universe characters, right? But they also serve primarily as a vessel for self-insertion of the player. We are supposed to be Makoto Yuki, so the story of P3 is essentially us coming to terms with the fact that we are going to die at the end of the game. And then episode Aigis is like, now you get to see everyone react essentially to your funeral and cope with your loss. There's a lot of really smart storytelling decisions and methodologies that are elicited and utilized in P3 that eluded me before with Portable, but I've been really honing in on with Reload, and it's made me appreciate it all the more. There's a lot of things I think they knocked out of the park when it comes to Reload, the soundtrack being one of them, and from this episode Aigis opening movie, this song, one, it fits so well, but I also need it yesterday. I need the MP4, I need the MP3, I need the .wav, I need every file format for this song because it's really good. And this trailer overall was just beautiful. I love Reload's use of color and contrast throughout. And I love this visual style that it has going on with Aigis trying to dive into the proverbial water to go after Makoto. And the emotion that's on Aigis' face further hones in on one of the stories of P3, and that's Aigis becoming more and more human as the game goes on, especially near the end. Like, it just soars near the end, and I imagine that's going to be the same when it comes to episode Aigis. So with that, I think I'll call the video there for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me know if you are excited for episode Aigis in the comments down below, and if you think we'll see any more of the P3 characters in the future, or if you think this story still has something to tell after episode Aigis. I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions, and to hear your perspectives. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again!